Hello, Tankers and Gamers. It's Momentary Genius here with a video I have been wanting to do for a little while, and it is about how much I love the T-62M1. This is a great premium tank that works. Let's put it this way. For me, the tank doesn't fail me, I fail the tank. That's kind of why I love and hate it. I love how great this 115 millimeter ATGM capable firing gun is. Its standard rounds can pretty much pen just about anything. It's accurate enough to where mid-range sniping is good, long-range sniping is doable, not always successful. The ATGMs are some of the fastest in Cold War at 750 meters per second. But they're ATGMs, so I just like to say to all you ATGM haters, you doesn't matter what tank you're in. ATGMs miss more than they hit, and you just don't realize it because you're just too used to getting ammo racked and sent to the garage and thinking ATGMs are just artillery. But I digress. So here we are in Vineyards. I take up this position on occasion to get some surprise sniping. Sometimes it's fruitful, like in this case. Sometimes it's not. I I know some people will call them weaknesses of the tank. I'm gonna call them quirks, and I'll get the main quirk out of the way that will be the main detractor for someone looking to buy this tank. Honestly, one reason I wanted to do this is if this tank is becoming more apparent in key cards. If you get any key card, don't rush out and play it if you are not too familiar with all of the varying tank mechanics, especially if you're not used to tanks with little to no gun depression. Because if you thought majority of the Russian tanks, like the T-62s, well, maybe the use of those, or the T-72s, Object 165, they're like 5 degrees of ish gun depression was too little for you. Well, how about 3 degrees of gun depression? In fact, I think only the new Arrow 1 Egyptian tank destroyer, the T-100, with its 3.1 gun depression, is probably the next worst here. So if you can't handle that, don't buy this tank. Okay? Even if it's on a good sale, don't buy it. If you get in a key card, it's okay. Leave it in your garage. When you want to try to expand your skills, then play this tank. So some more of the quirks, if you will, is, well, this is not a slow tank. It's no Conqueror. It's not the fastest. And by that I mean I can get this up to about 55 kilometers per hour in a air a sec for the Conqueror. Most of the other tanks will be doing 60 plus kph. So you might be bringing up the rear, but you kind of keep up. You know, you're in a 1-2-3 punch combo, you'll be that third uppercut coming in after the quick disorienting jabs. No one will expect you to come around that corner after everyone else, and they'll be too distracted, so you'll have easy pickings if, your team works with you. I'm sure that happens all the time in World of Tanks console, right? But this is a great support tank. Like I said, this gun is amazing. And with a camo rating right now, this is the other thing. This can be a stealthy tank because it's still concealment. The way I have it set up now, 254 camo net. I still have a fully untrained commander, but you do in the bushes and stuff. You can hide. That can really help with, keeping that long distance suppression fire going, or, surprise ambush. However, another thing that's slow is the reload. ATGMs, like most barrel-fired ATGMs, will take 20 plus seconds, so you definitely want to plan ahead when you're using those. But as you can see, it's 7 seconds, depending on how you have it set up. You probably won't get under 7 seconds. And now, as you can see, I've loaded ATGM because I have to race the last tank, which, as you can see, I am now losing, even though I was ahead of those other two heavies. But I'm just barely getting to 50 kilometers per hour, and I was hoping to maybe get that killing blow or do some major damage if I could get to that last tank before everyone else. Not gonna happen. So, not close. If you play this tank in a smart fashion, easily you can do 4,000 plus damage. And again, did I mention the 65% silver bonus? So even if you do make mistakes, even if you do get garaged within the first 2-3 minutes of the game, if you get a few hits in, do some spotting, you'll be okay. In fact, what I need to do is really start playing this tank like a stealthy tank and not shooting the gun off every time I see a target. Because, yeah, boy, once that 150 millimeter, I let it rip, my camo factor goes out the window, even with green thumb and all the concealment perks on my commander. So, here we are in El Alamein, where I do not use this tank correctly. And first mistake, I went on top of a hill. And while this isn't a small tank, it's not a big tank. So, I was, not a huge target, but I was a target nonetheless for an ATGM from a BMP. So I let him have full view of me for long enough. I believe I was trying to just catch out some of these people passing. I didn't quite think a BMP would be low enough or tall enough to see over the top of that ridgeline and still be able to. I thought he'd be a bigger target, and he wasn't. So it was kind of like, what's that? Oh, it's an ATGM. Okay, that's why I took a hit. Yes, I did get 1,000 damage there because I was able to hit that heavy and the BMP, but not really worth the trade when you've lost half your health within the first minute of the game. And now my decision to park my tank here is also not paying off in the fact that I have nothing to shoot. And if this gun isn't firing, it's useless. What I maybe should have done was take the city and swing around down the 9-0 line more. That's a little flatter, a lot less hills to try to fire over the ridgeline. But I didn't, and here we are, hoping to find a target. As you can see here, that moving shot missed, kind of coming to a stop, letting things a little bit. Does help your accuracy. As a running gun tank, not so much. You do want to be sitting down and sniping to help boost that accuracy. Accuracy is, like I said, it's okay, mid-range. I mean, you're still. Oof. I almost so far. Sorry for that leopard tearing out its engine. And here, yeah, the only way I can get into a position to fire is to just put myself right on top of this hill and hope I can reverse, which, hey, with a top speed of 50, maybe 55 miles per hour, or kilometers per hour, yeah, the reverse is even worse. So, yes, even my categories and me on how he thinks the T-62M1 isn't that great. So now things are beginning to shift, and I'm finally finding a good spot for this tank, which is at the base of this hill. I'm using this mound of dirt to actually side scrape with and protect my soft parts while keeping that lovely gun in a position where it can actually shoot at something. So I know I've been kind of harping on the flaws, but like I said, when you use this tank correctly, it will reward you. When you don't use it correctly, and depending on what your skill set and how quickly you can learn a tank, you might find yourself out YOLOing into areas you might normally find yourself able to handle in another tank, while finding yourself at a disadvantage with this. Well, yes, traverse speed and stuff are slow, so getting Circle of Death is a possibility. But depending on if, hey, like I said, you have spaced armor in your turret, some spaced armor at the front, so you might bounce more shots than you realize. Granted, the farther away you are, the better. So in this leopard, I really want to get that leopard, but he's on top of the hill. I have to go over, find a better target with the T-72 Ural. Oh, thank you for shooting the dirt. Ah, yes, the AMX-13. He probably should have actually just charged in and used his speed to an advantage over me rather than holding back and taking that shot, but I'm grateful. We're creeping up to 4,000 damage here, but it's 3-4, and I'm getting anxious. I've enjoyed recovering from my mistakes. I do realize it may not be for the best, and here you're about to see me overestimate the situation and my capabilities. So I'm loading an ATGM because sometimes these leopards, some of them, I believe it's 2AV, they got ammo all over the place, and sometimes it's easier to ammo rack a leopard than even you can realize. So I'm really hoping to get that one-shot kill shot, and unfortunately, no. So now I have to quick reload or load up a standard round, which, yeah, 7-second reloads, not fast. That totally goes to the advantage of the leopard, but I was hoping my team might help me. They're in a decent position, but yeah, this leopard has more health than I realize, and he's now, yay, he's healing, and he's got the better DPM, and unfortunately that takes me out. But 6,000 damage, I'm not going to complain, especially with a match that ended up resulting in a proper match that I wish more of our battles went in this game. Just absolute tank carnage. It's not 1v1. There's no squash match. There's no running around trying to find this hiding light tank. There's no racing back to base or anything like that to stop the capture. It's just proper straight up fighting. So, with that, I love the T-62M1. Maybe don't go out, buy it if you don't have the skills or you don't want that challenge of lack of gun depression. But if you get in a keycard or an op, don't hate it. Try it out. Learn, expand your skill set. But for now, keep your treasure on the ground, and I hope the RNG is in your favor. All right. See you in the next one.